Hello, Battleborn. This is your Gumbo. We've got another loadout here for you. This is Ambra, and what I have here for you today is Sunspot Snipe build. So what we're trying to do with this one is basically provide a damage amp and provide some effects to allies. The Solar Sustainer will give us anyone you heal an attack damage bonus. Not skill damage, attack damage bonus. Bola's Target Finder will increase all the damage done to a particular enemy that's targeted by 5%. Okay, but you have to use a skill to do it, which is great, because if you pop a Sunspot, all of a sudden, boom, everything gets launched, tagged. And in the middle there, Mini-Singularity launcher. I want to find out if the Sunspot will also slow an enemy. That would be nice to know if it's the skill damage or if it's the attack damage, because then that way you could actually Sunspot Snipe a slow, which is kind of cool. So let's go for it. There's not much I can do on this one other than just go ahead and enter the loadout. We are far enough along in the game that I need to actually try. So let's go ahead and do this. Oh, actually, I want to make sure the Solar Sustainer we can test it. So first of all, you put a heal up. 47 health per second on Reyna there. Let's go ahead and put a Sunspot Snipe. Tags everything, and that, wow, that extinction event did a lot. Got a Galt here. Had a Galt there. Almost don't even know what I'm supposed to be sniping here, honestly. But you spot that down. And it tags everybody. That was the whole point, is just to tag things, not to kill things. Because you'll find out when you play Armor that these guys eat your they eat your sunspots anyways, unless you hide them around the corner. So let me see. I'm doing 52 damage per second there. I Sunspot Snipe. I have 60 damage a second, and that's because I took left side Helix tier 1. Okay, which is damage amp instead of a bleed on my solar wind. Okay, so let's roll through this real quick. Sunspotter, damage amp, which is nice for sunspotting. And then I took solar burst. I just tried this because, you know what? I thought, I'm going to put 133 damage at sunspot. I'm going to zap everything. The sunspots are not meant for healing in this build. They are meant for damage, and damage amp. So let's see if that busts for 133 or if it's affected by something else. Just a little lifesteal. Pushback, which is always nice for the middle augment. That's really, really nice to earn. You can push things into your sunspots or push things off cliffs, cluster them together. Real fun stuff. Just with movement speed, just to get out of there in case. Flame shield's nice, but I don't necessarily want to be in the middle of everything. I want to get out. I put the reveal on there because they have Jennerit, and that's really nice. The radius, I think that affects the explosion radius too, which is really cool. Lifesteal on the flame staff, only because I want to make sure I can reduce the cooldown on my sunspots. And if I take Radiant Halberd and I do the projectile, her basically magic wand, wizard wand, you can't reduce the cooldown of your sunspots, but by right-clicking. So, because Scorching Strikes here at the bottom left, it says Umbra unleashes a series of melee strikes, right? Up to 100% damage per hit, but the heat lowers the cooldown of the sunspot by 1 second. I need to be able to do that. Okay, Radiant Spear on the right side helix there is a huge, massive hit, but it dumps your heat. So all of a sudden you're in a heat gain. Okay, I gotta clear this out here. Let's just knock these out. Get back into my event, and there you go. So you'll see 90 damage per second on that radiant on my attack. We'll see what this does with 33, 60. That's again, but 90, 64, 64, 64. Let me go ahead and activate these things. So 60, 60, 60. Let's heal myself. Now I'm taking a heal. 70, 70, 70. So it added up. Okay, I got the damage amp, and I got Solar Sustainer tagged me, so I got a damage bonus. We're also going to go ahead and do Bola's Target Finder. Let's go ahead and make sure that I believe that already tagged it, but let's get our new numbers without the heal. Alright, so that's doing 55. This, I'll drop this down. That's ticking for... Oh, the shield. I don't like when it does that. 83 ticks. 96, 96, 96. Okay, so let's try Bola and see what this does to our Sunspot Snipes here. 153. Oh, it ate it. That's right. That's the whole point. Zap 128. 110. So, okay, so Bola is ticking a little higher. Okay, so ready for the snipe. First tick is 145. Up, and it blew up. But it tagged everything, which is kind of what I wanted. Here, I'll go ahead and get a heal version up here. It'll top me off when I have my halberd. At 145 is the snipe. Okay, so it doesn't look like... does not look like that is scaling much. Like, remember how we dropped it down? Because I added Sunspot health. Let me go back through this, sorry. After that halberd stuff, I added Sunspot health thinking that maybe the Sunspot health would improve the second tier. Okay, second tier elixir was Solar Burst, did 133 damage based on remaining health. I was hoping that that would actually affect this, but giving it more health, maybe I thought it would give me a better shot. Oh, I think they got my ult. They did get my ult. Oh well. Let me get these guys. Got two tanks coming at me. That's always fun to see. And one to silence. Ready, and get out of here. Snipe, and now I'm gonna hide behind Toby's shield. Thanks, Toby. Okay, we're gonna do solar wind damage, and then also let's put a stun on our extension. Okay, now that's done. Snipe. Oh, I should have had another skill ready. Okay, snipe, and then this. Boom, boom. That's tagging for 287. 87. Oh, I gotta get around the corner. Oh. So I was trying to get the Bola target finder on there. It zapped everything. Notice everyone had a red outline. That's what I was wanting, is a red outline. That means it'll reveal. Technically, that's the reveal buff. But it also means that they're taking extra damage, because we already tested before that the Bola does take extra, does give them more damage. And it looks like, gosh, let me see. Yeah, let's find out if that slow triggers from the Mini-Singularity. Alright, it looks like our bots are running out of juice here. I had a real hard time leveling her because these guys are brilliant. These bots are brilliant. And as a support character, you need somebody else to do some DPS, and quite frankly, they wouldn't even pass mid-map. So I had to level on a defensive. So that happens. Get some heat. Launch this. And then Sunspot Spike, that tags them, and then you get the defense. That was the whole hope for that, was to get to make sure that the extinction event comes down, and then you Sunspot Snipe, and that gives the damage amp from Bola and from the skill. Okay, so at least our things aren't disappearing too quickly when they're alone. Our sunspots. Let's see. Let's get you. Somebody's snowing you. That wasn't me. Okay, revealed. There's the reveal. Let's get him into the reveal, and ready. And when he comes out of this, we're gonna do the. Where are you? Ah. 134. That's pretty nice heat damage right there. Yeah, I hate losing the cooldown the cooldown reduction on a when I take those other halberd options, because it's that halberd, that right click halberd with the heal on it is really nice. Okay, let's launch this hour. I'm gonna right click a few times. Oh, it looks like we're gonna go down. Oh, we got somebody. And we got the sentry. I don't think we didn't win on points. It was just to test it out. But so I didn't see any slows. If you saw any slows, mention it. But I think there were some other people hitting on slows since we had Galt with his traps up. So I was trying to get enough time there. But man, that was such a hard character to level without gear that I decided to just not do so. Anyways, I just decided to try and get this done. Try to get it done quickly, but so let's just recap here. So first one was Solar Sustainer. This is a healing add-on, which is nice because with Ambra, when you tag somebody with a Sunspot, you've done any healing whatsoever. All of a sudden, everyone who's been tagged gets a 5% damage bonus, right? As well as yourself. Also, because you have the Sunspot up, you're damage amping everything, right? So you're basically blasting everything with a damage amp and blasting everything with a damage upgrade. Okay, so here, actually, I'll go to the loadout here so we can see this more directly. I think I just put this in as her loadout here. Okay, so Solar Sustainer, the healing and ally grants 5% attack damage. Okay, so this is nice because what you're doing is you're adding a differential. Let's just think about it this way: anything you snipe is taking 18% more damage from your tier 1 helix. Your guys are doing an extra 5% damage from this item. That's already right there 23 spread. Probably a little more if you add in the fractional. Okay, 23 percent spread. Okay, then you add in your Bola. Okay, and that's another 5%. So that's going to be somewhere around 28% once you round up all of the fractionals. Okay, all the everything after the decimal. So all 28% damage amp from one snipe. In other words, in terms of spread, because they're taking more damage and you're doing more damage, right? But you're doing 5% more on your whole thing, and they're anyways. It's nice. It's nice. It's a really big spread. It's almost 30%. Per snipe. So if you focus fire, if you see somebody get bubbled, they're getting stunned, you're I don't know, target marked from arena, and you pop Solar Sustainer's a Sunspot Snipe right on them, that's another bonus 30% damage, right? So, and that because that holds for a while, if you look at her skill, it actually holds for a while. That the let me see, put it here. It holds for 4 seconds. So if you sun snipe an area and then while somebody else is doing some AoE, Thorn's putting down her ult, Ernest is landmining the area, anything, okay? They're taking, sorry, it wasn't 18%, it was 16%. I have to redo the math here. So the 16% plus the 5% from Bola, plus the basically 5% from Solar Sustainer. So you're getting about 25%, 26.5%, 26.4% if you have skill max. Sorry, 26.8% if your items are maxed, because each one would do 5.4% as your secondary stat for increased damage. So anyways, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You put that in there. We noticed that the Sunspots did not improve their solar burst damage when we added health to them. Okay, so you're going to want to do Bask in the Light to reduce the Sunspot cooldown, which is fine. Again, just reducing the cooldown. Okay, you certainly want to take Flame Staff, not Radiant Spear, because you don't want to burn all your heat. Otherwise, you're in a heat fight. Unless you use Ambra's Legendary. Okay, let me show you that. So we would, if you happen to use her Legendary, what is her Legendary? I believe it's a... I don't remember a Legendary. I don't really use it much. You have to watch me just go through everything here. Sorry. Because you know what? I'll just sort by faction. You can go to the faction, go to the top, and all your faction gear is going to be up top. Okay, so let's go through all this. Here we go, Ambra. Okay, so it's a shard. So we could technically, if we did this and we had the Radiant of Heat, the generating on its own, you must replace the Bola with it. Okay, so you don't get the extra 5% damage amp. if you do that. But you do get heat automatically, so you don't have to worry about going in and using your skill, your left kick skill to charge off them, and you don't have to worry about using your solar wind to gain heat. That's fine if you prefer that versus 5% damage amp. But it's up to you on how do you play. Do you like to play at total range, or do you like to run up and smack them? The point of that the point of going up and smacking them is because of scorching strikes. You can reduce your sunspot, so you can sunspot. The idea is if you can get a sunspot every 4 seconds up, then everything's taking that continual damage amp, okay, from the sunspotter, okay, plus it heals or whatever. Solar burst didn't seem to do a lot of damage. It was 130, but if you're going to drop it in the middle of them, it's a nice pop. But honestly, it didn't seem like it was as powerful as I had hoped, and I would have probably kept with Blessing of the Sun, only because that health per second really is really helpful. But then when you get down here to sunspot health, when you lower your sunspot cooldown, that will also help in late game to be able to drop those sunspots. I had no need on to take solar anomaly because our sunspots were disappearing from the explosions. But if you are using it as a heal, it is sometimes nice to have that third sunspot. But if you're doing a sunspot only build, that radius is the reveal, and that reveal tags everything, right? It basically pops people out of stun. Oh, well, it doesn't pop them out of stun. It actually does pop them out of stun. If they go into stun, it pops them out. So you have Pendles, Xehanorix, Mike, all those guys. If you want to sunspot them, the Andy, right? You pop them out of stun. They really don't like that, so it's always fun. And it's nice because you're taking that reveal away from your solar wind. Okay, it used to be really that the solar wind, it had a reveal on it. Oh yeah, it does. Still has. If you take illumination, but because we aren't taking illumination, we're removing that reveal on the solar wind, and we're putting it on the sunspot. So that's a nice little interesting way to play. Is that which one has the reveal? But all right, looks like we figured that one out. This is again. Let's go back to that loadout. We had Solar Sustainer. We had Mini-Singularity Launcher, which I wasn't able to see at that slow tag. Galt was messing up with traps, and honestly, I didn't have spare enough time at the end to do it. And then Bolas, which does work, does improve Ambra stuff. So these two stack, and if you want to replace that middle one with something a little bit more Ambra-ish, gosh, you could do a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, you could also go with the Pacifier, right? The Pacifier here would on damaging enemies lowers their attack damage. Again, it adds to the spread. If you really think about it, one sunspot would drop or improve the damage somebody takes by 25%, and with the Pacifier, reduce the damage they do with their attacks by 10%. That's a 35% spread with one skill, and you can keep that up almost every 4 seconds. Then your damage spread is wide, and so you're as a support person, being able to range sunspot somebody can actually dramatically impact that lane clear or impact that push because it hits everything. So AoEs do more, single shots do more. You pop that down before someone calls an ult, a Bindle Blast or whatever, core discharge, something like that, and all of a sudden you're there. Your teammates are going to love you. So think about it as if you're playing a support range, let's stack up everything we can possibly do on that Sunspot Snipe so that you stay at range, but when you run up in there, you're doing something on purpose. So anyways, that's what we got today. So I'm actually going to save the Sunspot Sniper with the Pacifier. I think that makes more sense, and it'll be completely very versatile. She is an absolute support character that can turn the tide in a lane. Absolutely. All right, see you guys later. Subscribe, forward it on, post comments. I've got a lot of gear here, so if you have any ideas, if you've seen gear, have heard about it, and you want to let me pull something out or run something with a Divid Tune, let me know, and we will get it going. Catch you guys later.